Um, so this is my tutorial about the Rubik's Cube. As you see, it's completely scrambled, no tricks. It is completely chaotic. This video will probably take about 10 minutes. I'm going to try and make it as clear as possible. And let me tell you something about how we're going to approach this. Because basically there's some things you need to know. First and foremost, I think what's most important to know, so the Rubik's Cube is turning around the axis, and whatever you do, the middle is always staying the same no matter how I turn it. The middle color is always defining the color of the whole side, meaning when I have a green one in the center, that means the whole surface will have to end up green. Same goes for my orange, my blue, black, and all the colors. So the middle always defines the color of the layer. It does not help when I have another color fitting in my layer, but it does not correspond with the centerpiece. Let's say, good example here, the three black ones. It might seem fine, however, when I turn it around, you can see that even this black here, it would be correct with the orange. However, those two black ones are not okay, even though they seem alright on top, but they're not. They have to be repositioned, and this is because, as I said, the middle color is always defining the color of the side, meaning that when I look at this green, black, and I have the green here, it does not fit with this center side. Quite the contrary, the green, it would actually have to be in a place here on this side. But later, more about this. What's also important is to understand that the way we approach it is we solve one layer first, then we take care of the second layer, and then at the end we take care of the third layer. And before we can do that, it is important to understand some, I need to explain to you, it's like a code, a language of code used in order to understand this here. I don't know if you can see it. I hope you can see it. So, yeah, I think you can. Maybe when you get lost in the video, just write it down for you. Those are the codes. And you see here D prime, R prime, DR, F prime, R, F, R prime, and all that stuff. Looks complicated, but isn't really. What it basically means is that when you talk about how you solve the cube, you have the upside layer. When I turn this one around, it's because it's upside, I call it U. When I turn it clockwise, that's a U. When I turn it counterclockwise, it's a U prime. Then I have the front layer that when I hold it like this to my hand, can I do it in the video? My side that is facing me, when I turn it, that's the F, that's the front side. The one side that looks to you, not basically not this one here, but this one here to my side. The same goes here. F means F clockwise and F prime means F counterclockwise. Then I have, from my view, the right side is R, and again clockwise is R, counterclockwise is R prime, and then I have the left side, L prime and L. This is important because in order to memorize a little bit better how certain algorithms work, you will have to remember and always think about what side you are turning. But this is actually as complicated as it gets. It's not, trust me, it's not so complicated. You just have to, especially in the beginning when you're not used to doing it, it takes a little more concentration. But okay, so when we start, The good news is the first thing we do is actually has nothing to do with codes. These codes here, these are 8 algorithms. They will come into play later on. The first layer that we do is pretty simple actually. And I'm going to use, my cube has the black and yellow. Your cube should have the black and white, which is why I use some 2 different colors right now. Now to start, I take the green side, and on the other side is blue. It should be the same on yours, green and blue. And as I said, the center color, it always stays the same. So this really defines the color of the whole side. And what we do first is I just pick the green side now, and on the other side, as I told you, is the blue. And what I want to do for the beginning is I want to have the green in the center, and like a cross or like a daisy, how they call it, I want to have it blue here, blue here, blue here, and blue here, which means I have to look for the blue middle pieces. I found one actually here. There's a blue piece here, right? So this one is simple. All I have to do is I just turn it up, and I have the first one here. So now I want to have those here also blue. So I turn it around and I look at it and I see that I found one here. And I can basically, to put it here, I can just put it up here. Then the next one, I found a blue one here. And then again I look at it and I see that all I have to do really is turn it around. And then I have the first 3 ones. And I just need this one. And I find the last blue one here. I just turn it around and see that if I turn it like this, I have the first step I have done. This is like a daisy. It's a green in the middle and blue on the sides. And what we do next is we look at the center colors of those blue ones, and I can see here the red. I turn it around until I have the corresponding red centerpiece. When I have that, what I do is I turn it completely around to the bottom, and I take the next one, look for the blue here with the yellow, corresponding yellow here, like this. And again, I just turn it all the way down. I do the same with the next ones. Here's black, which means I'm looking, here's the black. And again, I just turn it all the way down. And I take the last one. This one's blue, this orange here is already corresponding. So I just turn it all the way down. And what that gives me is a blue cross, right? Yes. So I have the blue cross. That means that my centerpiece is fine, but also those here are fine. Why? When we look at it, then we see it's corresponding with the centerpiece, corresponding with the centerpiece. It's all corresponding. However, the corner pieces are not, as we can see, right? Which means even though this blue seems to be on the right side, on the blue side, it's not in the right place yet. In fact, I see here orange and yellow means it actually will have to go over here. So that's the next thing that we do. And how we do that, we have to look for the blue layers on the side. I found one here. And what you do is we turn it up to the, here I'm already lucky, I have this blue one, as here a corresponding red, which fits the centerpiece. And when I take it up here, because I want to have the blue one up here, I already can see that it's corresponding correctly with red and yellow. So this actually is in the right spot. But unfortunately, because I turn it up, you see, I have actually kicked out this correct blue one to the side. which is why I have to get it back. And how I do that is by I just push it away, get the blue one back, and get it back in here. I'm looking for the next blue one. I found one here, and again I have to check. I see here a corresponding to blue, a corresponding black side. That's why I turn it all the way around until I find my black layer. I see here centerpiece defining the side, color of the side. So now this blue one, I can turn it up to my blue side. But again, when you see, I had here two blue ones. Because I put this blue one up, I have kicked them out here, which is why, again, I just push them away to get them back, and back again, right? So looking for the last blue one, it's here, and has a corresponding yellow, which means I turn it all the way around to the yellow page, and I push it up, and here you can see I pushed away those two that were correct. So again, when I do this, I have the blue one here, I get those away, bring them back, and now I have them all here. So the last one, blue is a corresponding with the black. I go to the black side and I push up the blue one, put the ones that have been correct to the side, turn it back, and now I have the whole complete blue color. This is the first side, not the first layer yet, but the first side that is correct. But also what you can see is when you look at this, there's a T, there's a T, there's all T's on all sides. That means that not only are the centerpieces correct here, also the corner pieces now are in the correct space because we took care of that when we did it. So now, as I said, basically what we have is the first layer. Yeah, it's not only the first side, actually the first layer is correct, yeah. But what's important is we have to take care of this T. So we stay in the right configuration. What we do now is we take care of the centerpieces, those here for the second layer. And for this we're gonna use the algorithm. It's the first algorithm of the day. And look at this. So I'll try to explain it as well as possible. I have a little troubles with the camera, to be honest. I don't know how much you can see. So the first algorithm is d prime r prime dr, and what it basically means is I'm talking about the d, the down layer, and as I said, d prime means counterclockwise, whereas d would mean counterwise. So I'm looking for anything to fit in those corners, and I know that they're actually hiding here. Because we've chosen the blue and the green color, we know that obviously we don't want to have any green cubes in the middle because the green will all belong to the downside. So I'm looking for anything but green. I have black and red here, that's fine. This is a good way to start. And I know that because here is the black and the red is on here, the centerpiece is defining the color of the side. I obviously know that this one will have to go in here, and that's why we use this this first algorithm. So what we do, we put it in position, and we do the D layer counterclockwise, meaning D prime. Then we take the right one, also counterclockwise, which is R prime, and we go back D and R. And so far so good. Well, it doesn't look good yet because we kicked out the blue, and now we want to get it back. You hold the cube in the same position, and you follow it with the algorithm F prime R F R prime, which will give it back into position and at the same time fixing your middle layer. So let's do it. This F prime R F R prime, and you can see, lo and behold, the middle, this layer is correct, and at the same time the corner piece is in it. So we do this for the next colors as well. Again, I'm ignoring anything green from the bottom, but I see black and orange is fine. I see black, orange. This piece will have to go in here. So I do it again. This time is actually a little tricky. It goes into the other direction now. I told you it's D prime R prime DR, but that was because I was putting it on the right side. On the left side, it's actually the other way around. So it's not D prime R prime, but it's rather, let me see if I can do this correctly. It's D L D prime L prime, and because I've kicked out the blue one, I have to get it back, and for this one it is F L prime F prime L, and you can see it's in there. So please excuse, I was not expecting, I normally don't do it with the codes, I do it in my in my head, but I'm not used to explaining it at the same time. But let's see if we have an easy one again. Green and yellow. No, I said I ignore anything green because green is on my bottom. So okay, you can do it again to the right side. Orange on the bottom has to go here. Yellow is here, which means this piece goes in here. So now we go to the right. It's again the first algorithm I told you. It's just D prime R prime D R, and then because we kicked out the blue one, we want to get it back. We do it F prime R F R prime, and then we got it. So now there's only one left. The last one, we know it is a yellow and the red that we have to look for is here. And again, it goes to the right side. So thankfully, that's the algorithm I was writing down. It's a D prime, R prime, D, R, and then it's F prime, R, F, R prime. And lo and behold, we got the first two layers solved. And unfortunately, the last layer is actually, to be honest, the most complicated one. But remember to look at the algorithms, write them down, and just do it slow and do it again and again, and get used to what R prime and U and all this stuff means. As you can see, as I had to make it up spontaneously, I had troubles as well, even though I'm used to doing it. Yeah, but it really helps you to solve it, especially the first time. With time, you will be able to do it faster and without going through those numbers here. Not numbers, letters. So okay, let's look at the layer. That's the last. You see this? Those two layers are fine. We're looking at the last one, and when we're looking at the bottom, not at the bottom, sorry, on the surface, there are. What we want to go for is having a cross here. Now we're interested in the green ones because we're fixing the green side. We were not interested in the green ones before because the green ones didn't have anything to do in those two layers, right? It's this layer. This centerpiece is defining the color of this layer. So what we're going for is getting a green cross, because that will mean that we will have a correct centerpiece with correct centerpieces from on the sides. And when you hold your layer to yourself again, then then it's, I think, easiest to just go through the code, because it's hard to show it on the video better. I have the first code that we do is FRU R prime U prime F prime. So you hold your cube and you do it FRU R prime U prime F prime. Now I have a bar. That's fine. I hold it like this. FRU R prime U prime F prime, and I have the cross. I already have it. Sometimes you have to do it 3 or 4 times. Sometimes you don't even have to do it. It can be already there, luckily. That's why sometimes when you're really good at the cube, you can maybe sometimes do it in 50 seconds. Maybe sometimes it takes 2 minutes, or however long you take. But it always depends a little on the situation. So now we have the cross, and we're actually really close now, right? When we look at it, so what we have to do now is take care of, actually, okay, you see this side is fine, as you know, the centerpiece is defined. This one is also fine, but what you can see now, this is not fine. Red, meaning this green one would have to go here, because here's the red corresponding side. So those two, they seem fine, but they're not yet. And for this we do the next algorithm. You use the sides that are fine. You know, when you turn it around, you have to make it fit again to this side here with the green cross. The middle pieces, they have to be the same color here, and they're not. And whatever at this moment, you will always find at least 2 points where they are correct. I see here black is not good, yellow no, here is fine. And I look for the next ones here also. You have to turn it around until you find 2 spots at least. I have here and here, they're good, and here not. When you have that, you hold it so that the one that fits is one is away from you and the other is on the left. Then you hold it, and then you do, which is probably the most complicated algorithm, but again, this is just a matter of practice. It's R U U R prime U prime R U prime R prime. And when you do it fast, it's I try to do it slow, but normally I do it more accurately when I do it fast, because I'm not used to explaining it. So it's basically R U U R prime U prime R U prime R prime. And when I check the sides again, now I can see that here's my green cross, right? The center pieces with the green, now they fit because of this algorithm. Sometimes it can be that you have to do this algorithm 3 or 4 times. Now I'm lucky, just had to do it once. So that means that all my center pieces, they're all fine. All that the cube needs right now is to have the corner pieces correct also. So we're really close to solving it now. For this, and so we only have 2 algorithms left actually. This corner piece, this is a coincidence, actually correct, not only in color, also in configuration. What we can see here, this one is not, huh? It's green, red, black. Black has to go to this side here. So before I do the algorithm, what I do first is I just want to have all the correct colors in the correct corners, not in right configuration, because that will be the last step, just having the right color. So that means when I look at this piece here, I see I have black, red, and green. Here is an orange, that means there's not even the right colors. If I would have a red here and black and green, it would still not be fine, but the colors would be fine. There would be a question of configuration. Right at this point, with this algorithm, I just do it as long as the colors are not fine. Also here, red, green, and yellow is not fine when I look at the centerpieces. So the algorithm, so you position, I have one that is correct here. When I have that, I keep this corner that is correct on the side next to me on the right. and then I do the algorithm, which is U R U prime L prime, U R prime U prime L. So when I do it, it's U R U prime L prime, U R prime U prime L. And very interestingly, what you can see what happens now with this corner piece, the colors are fine because I have the black one for the black layer here, I have the green one for here, and orange for here. However, configuration is not fine, but the colors are. And same goes for my last corner piece that has the right colors for this position, but not the right configuration. I just have to turn it around. And this is the very last step in solving the Rubik's Cube. And it's a simple one. You hold, I told you in the beginning we concentrated on blue and green. This is how we solved it. You always pick whatever two colors and then you do your algorithms and what you have to do to solve it. So the green is my working layer that I have to that is still not correct because I told you that the other ones they're fine, right? You can turn it around however you want them. Those two layers are good. So this is my working side. I have 1 and 2 corner pieces I have to fix. So my working side, the green one, is not fine yet. I hold on the left and the blue one on the right. And the algorithms I do now is very important to, when you do them, don't move the cube around anymore. Just really hold it like this. And then it's R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U. And again, this is as long as it takes until you can see that it is correct. You only can, this seems scrambled now, this rest, but it doesn't matter. Ignore it. Hold the cube just as you have it. Do the algorithm until only this piece. I was only interested in fixing this piece here, only this one. All the rest doesn't matter. This one's correct now, so I turn and take the next piece that I was interested in. Even though all this rest seems scrambled, it doesn't matter. I was only interested in this one. I hold it, the same position as I started it, and I go on, and I do the algorithm as long as I have to until it's fine. It can be 1 time, it can be 3 or 4 times. So again, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U. Now I had to do it 4 times, and my piece that I was interested in is correct now. When you look at the cube, basically now you're actually done. All you have to do now, see here, yellow, black, here's the black, you can really just finish it off, and then you got it. Alright. I don't know if it was helpful. It's the first time I did such a video. Maybe I have to do it again with more time, but good luck, Justice. I would recommend that you just pause it at any time and write the stuff down and just practice. So, see you around, Justice. Have a good one. Bye. Have a nice weekend. And say hi to your girlfriend.